must be our goal and our guide. And all that we strive for as a human family, dignity and hope, progress and prosperity, depends on peace. But peace depends on us.
Way back in 1998, the late Secretary General of the United Nations by name Kofi Annan thought of an idea, brought an idea of saying the only way to bring world order where crimes committed that are not punishable in local courts, local countries, regional courts could be taken to an international crimes court. The Rome Statute and Rome Treaty of 1998 July was an offspring of already cooked DSGE intelligence system mechanism to keep Africa under check. Up to date, the French government pays 70% of the salaries of the International Criminal Court, from the porter to the judge, to the prosecutor, and the rest of the other people. This was a project of Kofi Annan and the Kofi Annan Foundation, followed by George Soros as an accomplice of Kofi Annan, brought in by Luis Moreno Campo and the entire system of the West, some countries in the West, to keep check on African countries that did not agree with the policies of the French and to their policies of Western culture. The International Criminal Court Chief Prosecutor Luis Moreno Campo agreed in all this that yes, he has been picking money, extra monies, and we followed the story together with my group in France, powerful investigators in France who worked together with me. And we found out that, truly speaking, Luis Moreno Campo, Fernandez Gomedi, the former judge, the president of the International Criminal Court, laundered money, some coming from American banks themselves. This evidence was put in the ICC. In the case of Bashir versus the chief prosecutor, I filed an application, which I still have, and which I'm going to publicize again, so that people can know that I was right. I've been vindicated because the American friends now have found that my credibility is real, that I was right when I stood up to say this court is corrupt. This court launders money, $17 million of United States money, laundered through Bahamas, through New York banks, back to Ocampo's personal assistant, by then called Fernandez Gomedi Silvia, who later on rose to the ranks of becoming the president of the International Criminal Court. It has taken us time, energy, effort, resources to investigate the corruption scandal that have rocked the International Criminal Court. Why should African countries continue to be in the ICC, yet even the superpowers like America are saying no, we have enough courts to try our own people? Viewers, it has taken Americans over 20 years to listen to our voices when we told Rainberger in Nairobi that this court is a corrupt court.
Today, on the eve of September the 11th, I want to deliver a clear and unambiguous message on behalf of the President of the United States. The United States will use any means necessary to protect our citizens and those of our allies from unjust prosecution by this illegitimate court. We will not cooperate with the ICC. We will provide no assistance to the ICC, and we certainly will not join the ICC. We will let the ICC die on its own. After all, for all intents and purposes, the ICC is already dead to us.
A case of the Kenyan people. These cases in Kenya, the chief prosecutor called Fatou Bensouda put serious statements at the end of the cases, discharge and termination. In legal language, these cases pose a very serious threat in the future. What the people of Kenya can do, and they should do, is today to wrap up the work envelope. Because until this envelope is sealed, thrown in Indian Ocean, the chief prosecutor in the future will come and look for that envelope, use it to incriminate people again. It brings me back to the situation. America is sealing its journey out of the ICC. Why do you wait? Why don't you take this opportunity to seal your journeys out of the ICC? America is quitting, warning that it cannot no longer be a party to such an obnoxious court, a court that has no powers, that talks from this side and vomits from the other side, a court that cuts and pastes evidence, a court that buys witnesses, a court that incites incentives, gives incentives to witnesses of a passport and a relocation, then you tell lies about people. A court that sentences you as per the words there. Why should you leave a country that has a jury that checks on what the judges would do, the excesses of judges, and go to a country, a court that has no jury? Time has come for Africa to think. Do we need this court? Does Africa need this court?
Patia wenzetu, wazee hawa wakiongozwa na mzee Yusuf Haji. Mambo haya ndio tunataka tujadiliane pamoja. How can we maintain this peace? How can we entrench this peace? How can we? Na ndipo nasema, kwa sababu sio tu mambo ya kisiasa. Tuangalie kindani ni nini inatukula. Tukisema tunataka maendeleo, hebu tuangalie ni jameni. Maendeleo na umaskini ni mwingi. Maendeleo yako, umaskini ni mwingi. Maendeleo iko, umaskini bado huko. So lazima tujiulize ni nini nakula, what is eating the other one. Na kitu kimoja mimi naweza niseme hapa, tuseme kwa ukweli, haswa tena tukiwa mji mkuu wa Nairobi. Ukiangalia document zote za serikali zasema ya kwamba mji ambao ndio tajiri, ama jimbo ambalo ndio tajiri katika taifa la Kenya ni Nairobi. Kweli ama sio kweli? Ya? Ndio jimbo ambalo lina utajiri mwingi katika taifa letu la Kenya. Na kwa hivyo hata kwa allocation ya resources, Nairobi inapata pesa kidogo sana kulingana na umati wa wananchi ambao wanaishi katika huu mji. Lakini kuna kitu tumesahau sisi kama Wakenya. Hata kama huo utajiri uko hapa Nairobi, uko mikononi ya watu ngapi? Hiyo ni swali lazima tujiulize. Kweli ama sio kweli? Huu mji ambao unasemekana ndio tajiri, tuna wenzetu ambao waamuka kila siku kwenda kutafuta kibarua ya shilingi 150 kila siku na hajui kama atapata. Huyo ni tajiri? Kwa huu mji tuko na wenzetu ambao hawana maji safi ya kunywa. Katika huu mji tuko na wenzetu ambao wanaenda choo kupitia makaratasi. Mji tajiri. Hii Nairobi tuko na watoto ambao hawana nafasi katika mashule ya high school. Hata uniform watoto hawana. Is this a rich county? So we must look at that and ask ourselves, how are we using our resources? And our resources going to people? Or are they going to leaders? We must ask and address ourselves. Otherwise, kwa ukweli tutamaliza umaskini Kenya hii. Tutakuwa tu tunasema tunaendelea, tuko na maendeleo, lakini maendeleo hiyo haiguzi kila mwananchi. Again, that is what leads to animosity, tension, and anger, because people feel they are excluded from the development that we are talking of. Sasa jameni, hiyo kitu haina mambo ya kutusiana hapa na hapa. Ni tukae tuseme, this is the way we do it. And I am sure, in every single county in this country, there are pockets that are wealthy, there are pockets that are very poor. How do we make sure that resources are merged to needs? How do we make sure? That is a question surely we can discuss and talk about. There is nothing there to disagree about. Wenzetu, fair representation, let us discuss it, so that we have an environment where everybody feels that they are represented by their respective leaders. And if we resolve this and many more things, like what is afflicting our young people, how can we create more jobs? Nilisoma kidogo jana wakisema tuongeze pesa ambazo tunaweka katika ma SMEs, katika biashara ndogo ndogo, kwa sababu hapo ndipo wananchi wengi wako, ndio tuweze kuinua hali ya uchumi. It's a good proposal, friends. Let us work on this together. Hii nchi sio nchi ya mashindano kati ya matajiri na maskini. Hii ni nchi yetu sisi wote, and we must come together. Na ndipo nasema sengine unasikia huyu anasema wale ni wako namna hii, wale wako namna hii, wale wako namna hii. Unajua sasa kwa sababu huyo rais ametoka hapo, mali yote imeenda huko, kwa sababu rais ametoka. Hakuna kitu kama hiyo. Rais ni rais wa wananchi milioni 47, na hiyo ndio inatakikana. Na ndio tuwasema, ikiwa ni bunge la kitaifa, iwe ni bunge la kitaifa. Tuache mambo ya maendeleo kule mashinani, magovernors na ma MCAs waende wafanye kazi ya mashinani. I don't think that is a problem. Na sisi tutengue masheria, ni masheria gani ambayo inazuia Wakenya kukua. Hiyo ndio kazi yetu hapa Nairobi. Hiyo ndio kazi yetu hapa Nairobi. Kule mashinani tuache wananchi wajue maji na mfereji inatakikana wapi, line ya stima ni wapi ambaye inakosea, kabarabara gani kanataka kutengenezwa huku. Tunaelewana wenzangu? Tunataka kujiuliza ni kwa nini baada ya kila miaka 5 tunaenda miaka 3 ya kazi, miaka ya 2 tunapoteza kwa sababu siasa imechacha. Tunataka tuulize wafanyabiashara wetu, wenzetu, ni nini inawazuia? Ni nini tuwaweza kufanya ndio tuhakikishe ya kwamba biashara zenu hazisimami? Hakuna taifa ambaye inaweza kuwa na mipangilio ya maendeleo ambaye itabadilisha maisha ya wananchi ikiwa mipangilio yetu ni ya miaka 5. Lazima tuwe na mipangilio ya miaka 20. Haiwezi kuwa ati miaka 5 sasa tena hofu. Hapana. We must have development plans that are 20 years plus if we are to resolve our problems, my brothers and sisters. Au ni namna gani wenzangu? Na lazima tuseme ya kwamba tunataka siasa ambazo zitatoa hizo hofu kwa wananchi, na ndio wafanyabiashara wetu waweze kupanga wakienda mbele. Tunataka hizo siasa ambazo zitawezesha. Sasa siku hizi kwa Kenya huwezi kupata mkopo, ndio nilikuwa nawaambia watu jana, huwezi kupata mkopo wa zaidi ya miaka 5. Sana sana ni mkopo wa mwaka moja na 2. Sasa ni biashara gani itarudisha pesa na miaka 2 kama ni kweli ni biashara ambayo itakuwa? Lakini mwenye kukopesha anasema hii dunia hii, mimi wacha nipate yangu, nitakopesha miaka 2, nigojee kwanza hiyo uchaguzi itakuwa namna gani. Tunataka tuwapatie assurance ya kwamba wanaweza kupatia wananchi mikopo ya miaka 10, miaka 15, kwa sababu they have confidence ya kwamba Kenya will be stable and Kenya will always have leadership, whoever it is, that will live within the rule of law and that will respect the rights of all our people. Then we are moving forward. Tunataka tuheshimiane kama makabila, ya kwamba kila Mkenya awe ako na uhuru wa kuwa pahali popote katika taifa hili letu la Kenya, na asisikie ya kwamba uchaguzi unakaribia, wacha sasa nipange virago ati nirudi kule nilizaliwa, nitarudi tena uchaguzi ukiisha. We don't want to live like that. We want to live in a manner in which we can program ourselves. Na ndipo mimi nawauliza haswa, na ninataka kurudia tena, viongozi wenzangu, tafadhalini, ambition, personal ambition is not bad. It's a healthy thing. We all want to be ambitious because we are desirous. We want power. We want to be MPs. We want to be presidents. We want to be governors. We want to be all of these things. Ambition is good. Just like people are ambitious, those in business, they want to be ambitious and to see how their business grows. But I pray and I appeal to you today, don't let those ambitions of yours overshadow our ability to fix those things that will help you achieve your ambitions. Hii hapa hatuongei juu ya mtu, kwa sababu Mungu mwenyewe ndio anajua ile iko ndani ya roho ya kila Mkenya, na yeye ndio tayari hata sasa tukiwa hapa, yeye pekee ndio anajua rais wa 5 wa Jamhuri ya Kenya ni nani. Hakuna mwingine anajua. Kwa nini sasa tumalizane hapa kwa sababu ya mambo ambayo hatuelewi? Si turekebishe yale Mungu ametuwezesha turekebishe. Hiyo ingine wakati wake ukifika, taona tu kama ile ilikuwa juzi, hii. Na tujue inafanyika, wacha wananchi wakule mali, wafurahie, wasikie maneno ya watu, watachagua. Ama ni aje wenzangu? Ama ni aje? Si ni hapo? Kwa nini sasa ni kutengeneza uwanja tunatengeneza? Ni kutengeneza tunatengeneza, kusafisha. Ndio wachezaji wakuje baadaye wawe wamepata kiwanja ni safi. Na Wakenya sasa wanagojea mifuko ifunguke. Na Wakenya wanaheshimiana, ikiwa ni Kibira wanaulizana, sasa wewe ujue, wewe ukipanga upande hiyo ile utapata, ujue jioni tutakutana kwa Mama Njeri, wewe ulete nusu, mimi nikwambie ile tulipata leo. Hiyo ndiyo siasa tunataka. Mama Achieng' anajua ya kwamba stock ya samaki sasa mwezi huu lazima niongeze, kwa sababu kazi itakuwa safi, na biashara ni nono. Lakini haongozwi ni hofu, ako na imani ya kwamba katika wakati wa uchaguzi na baada ya uchaguzi, Mama Atieno, Mama Chelugat, Mama Njeri, wote wanajua we are safe. We have nothing to fear. We shall wake up in the morning, vote, go back and continue our business, and life will continue. I believe that is what each and every one of you is desiring. Au ni namna gani? Na ndipo nawasihi wenzangu, someni hii kitabu. Someni kila moja. Lete maono yako ambaye unafikiria inaweza kuchangia na kuongeza zaidi yale ambao hawa wazee wametuletea. Najua Junet amesema ati anagojea baba asome. Wewe Junet usiharibu watu bana. Baba atasoma na atatoa maoni yake. Hata Uhuru atasoma na atatoa yake. Wacha watu pia wasome na watoe yao. Yetu ni kupokea maoni ya hii watu yote na tuweke pamoja. Na ule mtu ambaye pia ningeshukuru, nimependa pia vile ndugu yangu James ambaye ako na deni yangu amesema ya kwamba Wakenya ni rahisi sana, sio ngumu, ni rahisi sana kupata kitu ambacho tuko na tofauti kati yetu. Hiyo sio ngumu. Ni ngumu zaidi kutafuta yale ambaye yataweza kutuunganisha. Wenzetu Kenya hii hatutaitengeneza na siku moja. Let us not waste our time and our effort on those things that divide us. But let us create and put our energies to those things that put us together. So that those things that maybe we don't agree on, we can put them to the people in an election in a peaceful manner. And the people can choose between this idea and that idea, between this policy and that policy. That is why democracies thrive. Let us focus ourselves on that which puts us together. Let us focus ourselves on those things that will make sure we are more cohesive as a society, as the Foreign Minister of Tanzania has told us here. Let us focus on those things that remove ethnicity and the sting of negative ethnicity. I am very proud of our culture. Very proud of it. And I think we should be proud that as a country, we have 42 different, if not 46 now, different cultures that we should be proud of and we can learn about. Lakini, allow those wonderful positive things about our culture to be used and to be turned into instruments and weapons of hatred and division. Tunaelewana? Tunaelewana wenzangu? Tujivunie Ukenya wetu, tujivunie utamaduni wetu, tujivunie lugha zetu. Lakini tuzisitumie kwa njia ya kuweka chuki na mgawanyiko kati ya wananchi wetu. Na ndipo mimi, kama kuna kitu kingine hapo, mimi nimeunga mkono. Wajua, tukienda Krismasi, kwa muda huu wote tunasherehekea siku yetu muhimu, siku ya kuzaliwa kwa Yesu Kristo. Lakini sisi wote pia tunajua ya kwamba siku ile inafuata pia ni holiday, na tunaita Boxing Day. Na hakuna mtu mmoja hapa, nataka mmoja ainue mkono aniambie Boxing Day ni kumaanisha nini. Boxing Day ni wakati wazungu, wakati wanapatiana zawadi wakati ya Krismasi, wanaenda kufungua mabox kujua mtu amepatiwa nini kufungua. Sasa sisi hiyo sio utamaduni wetu, hiyo ni ya wazungu jameni. Au ni namna gani? So mimi sioni ubaya jameni tukisherehekea siku ya kuzaliwa Mwokozi wetu Yesu Kristo, na siku hiyo ingine tusherehekee utamaduni wetu kama Wakenya. Kwa sababu hiyo ni kitu that is Kenyan. So safari moja mtu ametoka upande ya Busia, anaweza kuambia jamii, njooni hii siku tutembee Kisumu tukaone utamaduni wa watu ya Kisumu. Mtu ya Kisumu ametoka hapo aseme mimi nataka kwenda mlimani kule Nyeri nikaone utamaduni huko, hawa wanaishi namna gani. Mtu wa Nyeri atoke hapo aende Mandera aone hiyo watu upande ya Mandera utamaduni wao huko namna gani. Mtu Masai atoke hapo aende kule baharini, amezoea ng'ombe, sasa aone samaki kubwa wanawala watu huko. Tunaelewana? Let us celebrate now those beautiful and wonderful things that are great about our culture. And I promise you we will have a great country. We will have a farmer country. And as my brother Raila has said, this is not about Uhuru. This is not about Raila. This is not about Ruto. This is not about Kalonzo. This is not about Mudavadi. This is not about Wetangula. This is not about any of those leaders. This is about you and me as Kenyan citizens. Wenzangu, tuende, tusome, tujadiliane kati yetu mwezi huu ambapo tunaelekea sikukuu. Tutafute nafasi, labda mwanzo wa mwaka mpya, tuje tukae tuone hiyo maoni. Na ndio mimi nasema, let us own it mashinani. Let us own it at the grassroots. Sini hivyo wenzangu? Let us own it at the grassroots. Let it not be niliambiwa na Uhuru. Mimi na bibi yangu na watoto wangu na jirani wangu tumeketi, tumeongea, tumeona hii na hivi ndivyo tungependa dunia yetu iishi. Ni wangapi wanakubaliana na mimi jameni? Tunakubaliana? Tutatembea pamoja kama Wakenya? Ndugu waheshimiwa na waheshimiwa ma-MCA, jameni, tumekubaliana ya kwamba hii sijui tangatanga, sijui kieleweke, sijui warembo na huyu na warembo na yule, tuachane. Sasa ni warembo wa Kenya na viongozi wa Kenya wakifanya kazi au ni namna gani? Sini hivyo? Tumekubaliana jameni, tutatembea hivyo, tujadiliane, alafu tuje tukutane hapo baadaye, tuone hiyo maono yote na tukubaliane barabara ambayo tutatembea. Mimi nasema Mungu awabariki jameni. Siku ya leo tuwasema hongera kwa akina mama, kongole kwa wazee, na hiyo ingine ilikuwa gani? Na pongezi kwa wote. Mungu awabariki na walinde. Asanteni sana. Kwa heri ya kuonana.
Viewers, good morning. This morning, I want to address the issue of Uhuru Kenyatta's legacy. The legacy of His Excellency President Uhuru Kenyatta of Kenya keeps on moving, keeps on going forward and forward. Since the handshake in 2018, that brought about the peace, the tranquility, the unity of purpose, President Uhuru's star has been rising. All over Africa, people are thinking of using the model that Kenya used to stop any form of violence, chaos on the streets after elections. As you know, all of you are aware that elections in Africa produce two things: after or before or after the voting. disputed elections. Winner takes it all. Loser doesn't accept the results. But the Kenyan model takes us miles and miles away from the normal type of democracy. The democracy, a negotiated format, a consensus format. A democracy that gives consensus a chance. A democracy that talks about the future of a country, the unity of a country, as opposed to a fragmented country, polarized country, where most African countries find themselves in. We have seen in the last 10 years or so, most of the elections in Africa have been contested by the opposition. Very few people in Africa, countries in Africa, where opposition has conceded defeat and come up to congratulate the winner. We have seen the South African model has worked very well. The Ghanaian model has worked so well. I don't see any other country in Africa where the models have worked well. I thought it would be Sierra Leone, but today we see Sierra Leone going back to the same ethnic tensions, as you can see from the reports that are circulating in the international media and the local media. So elections in Africa are contentious issues. They create a contentious position, create a departing point for the people of Africa, of that particular nation. The legacy of Uhuru Kenyatta, therefore, will be remembered for having brought the tranquility that we have today, the peace, the new format, the new tool of having a better organized civil Africa, an Africa without violence, an Africa without chaos after elections, when the opposition accepts to work for the interests of a nation, not personal interests. This has worked in Kenya, and thank you very much, Your Excellency President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta, for the tenacity and the steadfastness that you have guided this handshake up to today. For those who want to mutilate the handshake, belittle the handshake, one lesson they should learn is to look at Libya. Libya was once a territory we all respected. It is no more. Let's keep the handshake and the legacy of President Uhuru Muigai Kenyatta. Thank you. Good afternoon, viewers. Welcome to Punchline Africa Television, broadcasting all the way from Nairobi, the Republic of Kenya. Viewers, wherever you are in Africa, thank you very much. This is our show, the show entitled Africa Showdown. Together with me in the studio is none other than Miriam Ogutu, Miriam, good afternoon.
Good afternoon to you. And of course, today is the World AIDS Day. So the world is commemorating, and so special things are happening around the world. AIDS Day. So a lot of stride has been made in regards to even stigmatization that used to come with HIV and AIDS, but we see a lot of developments being done. So yeah, today the world is commemorating World AIDS Day. So thank you so much for joining us, and wherever you're watching us across the world.
Thank you very much, viewers, and wherever you are, again, thank you all the way from Cairo to Cape Town to Cairo, Lagos to Mombasa, Mombasa to Maputo, Maputo to Cote d'Ivoire, in Banjul, and then Bangui. We have two capitals that look like the same, Gambia and the Central African Republic, and in Kinshasa, Rwanda, which is the capital city of Angola. Good afternoon, wherever you are, waking up in Ghana, Kumasi, in Kamna, Ashanti, and the Sokoto empires, the Oyo empire, the Benin empires. People should not forget African values. We seem to have forgotten African values. I want to thank the government of Republic of Kenya for removing Boxing Day to call it a Heritage Day. Boxing Day in United Kingdom, where it came from, people go for hunting.
Not
those
opening.
who, yes.
Not for the gift opening day.
No, gift is hunting. 26th, 27th is hunting. You get your gun and go to designated forests and look for animals, hunting, you know, on a limited scale. But for us here, we take Boxing Day. Some people even start boxing their children, boxing their wives, beating their friends in pubs. So thank you very much for changing that Boxing Day to Heritage Day, National Heritage Day in Kenya. Today's topics are Kenya, Zimbabwe. Will stand in this country in the following format. We shall look at Kenya, 3 topics: the rented politics that creates faults, post-mortem of BBI election. Is the election the breaking point in Kenya? I think that's very, very important. One of the things that we want to talk about this afternoon, are we rented to shout? Are we rented to muzzle people? It looks like people are muzzled here. MPs are muzzling the population. We said this, the president said, let everybody this 1 month during Christmas read the BBI report. Then a group of people have now been rented and put on rent on payments. They have gone around to say, we from this place, we wanted this. We from here, we wanted that. That's rented. That type of politics can make Kenyans lose the direction on what to do with BBI. Yet there are things they need to interrogate. There are things they need to take out. There are things they need. Either way, whether you want or not, whether you like it or not. And I want to tell Kenyans, those who are not firm with their decision, like it or not, there will be a referendum. I am telling you. Because you have touched the core, you are changing the format. You are changing the format of governance. So let people can argue up to the moon, but I don't see this thing going to end here. No. It is not going to end there, Miriam. You see, there are certain things they have touched. They came, they touched. So the BBI report left for you to conclude.
In line with our current constitution, yes.
Yes. You are going to change the whole format. How will you change the whole format? You are changing the entire, you are touching the main, pillar of the constitution. The main pillar of constitution that changed the whole constitution of Republic of Kenya was the presidential type of governance, which Kenya did not have before. The 2010 constitution changed everything to a presidential style of governance where you have a leader of majority instead of an opposition leader. You see the point? So you are changing the format. And let people not tell lies here. You can close it as a minister, you appoint him prime minister, sack, but you are sacking who? You are changing the format of what the presidential system is. So either way, anybody with a brain, you can't change it with the parliament. It's impossible. So don't lie to people now. Let people read, and for anybody, we shall come be here 6 months. We observers, we have no say, we are not Kenyans. We are being told not to even talk about it. But we shall come here when you are being prepared for a referendum. Yes.
Yes, indeed. And since, of course, the launch of the Building of Bridges initiative report that was handed over to the president on Tuesday, and then he made it public on Wednesday. Since then, you would think, political rhetorics will turn down so that Kenyans would have an opportunity, the 1 month, period to just get access to this very important document, and for us to go through it, and then we can make our own decision as to what we want, and if at all, if the changes we want were reflected in that report or otherwise. But since then, our politicians have been on a I don't know. It's like politics has just taken another turn, and right now it has been made so political. So the other things that the BBI might have touched on in regarding to changing even the lives of Kenyans have been overshadowed by the politics of the new post, the prime ministership, a post that is supposed to be, that was suggested in the BBI. And so you would think that is the only thing that the BBI, mentioned. And as Dr. Matanga has just said, a referendum might be inevitable. And in case you're wondering, these are possible things that if it touches according to the Kenyan Constitution, then has to be subjected to the referendum. So if whatever is being proposed, touches on the supremacy of the Constitution, then that has to be subjected to the referendum. If the territory of Kenya has been mentioned in regards to change or anything, then that has to be subjected to a referendum. The sovereignty of the people, the national values and principles of governance, which is in Article 10, Sub-Article 2 of the Kenyan Constitution. If anything that was proposed touches on the Kenyan national values and principles, then that has to be, subjected to a referendum. Also the Bill of Rights, the term of presidency, the independence of judiciary, commissions, and things like that. And of course the functions of parliament, which now with the prime ministership being introduced, that will touch also, will affect the functions of parliament. So according to our constitution, if any of these things that have been proposed touches on the functions of parliament, then it has to be subjected to a referendum, as well as the principal structures of devolved government. So that was not touched so much, because as it is, according to the BBI report, Kenyans are in full support of devolution as it is right now. So those are just scenarios that our constitution allows that will, can result to anything being subjected to a referendum if it touches in some of those things that I have mentioned. So, but right now, as it is, politics has overshadowed even other very pertinent, things that were in part of that BBI report that perhaps Kenyans wanted to get, more information about or want to learn more about. But as it is, it appears to be this was just the politicians are making it to look like it was just a political solution or a political thing. It did not have anything to do with the Kenyans, which is completely wrong.
I think rented politics leads to a conflict. You demonize your friend, you take an upper position, and yet there is no need. This president said, read and disagree when you have read. But a section of MPs now have gone up to say, no, we are reading for you and we want it this way. You see, why do they want, if someone can ask, why do they want this to go to parliament? It is very easy to bribe the parliament of Republic of... It's very easy to bribe the parliament of the Republic of Kenya. You saw the question of 10,000, 10K. Things, some people did not turn up. The quorum was not available. So it is very easy.
I think,
and the people who are saying this are the people who usually use it to corner other MPs.
And I think also Kenyans are quite wary because of that, because they think that we cannot exactly trust our members of parliament, our politicians. Should this BBI be brought to parliament and left to parliament to decide, then it will be subjected to a lot of manipulation, it will be subjected to a lot of changes, and perhaps there are things that Kenyans, after we have read, and then they will decide on what we want to do, perhaps there are things that Kenyans would have wanted included in that. But should it be taken to parliament and left for these 291 people to decide on the fate of Kenyans? We've seen in very important occasions where we have trusted them to go there and make bills and, you know, things that would benefit us as Kenyans. But the only time these members of parliament have ever come and agreed and spoke in one voice is when it comes to things that, you know, affect them, things that benefit them, especially that includes the increase of their salaries and per diems and things like that. But things that affect Kenyans and Kenyans want them to change, they've disappointed us time and time again. So as Kenyans, even from, we were having conversations with some friends yesterday, and they were like, you know what, it would be nice, but we don't trust these people because the corruption that goes on in parliament and the lack of quorum, you'll hear there'll be no quorum. Even a simple bill like the 2/3 gender rule, they've refused to pass it and things like that. So how can we trust them to go and pass such a very important document in parliament? So Kenyans do not have faith that should this thing be taken to parliament, actually it will sail through perhaps the way they would want it to.
When I listened to the governor of UG, Mandago, to be very honest, I think we have a problem in this country.
What did Mandago say?
Mandago, I always look at him as a moderate, but of late he has become not a moderate. You know, Punzika, is it Punzika or Muzigo?
Yes.
Punguza Muzigo was first passed in Eldoret. This time he came up and said, I told you that BBI is useless. Just come up with, it's like a beer that is flat. That's what he said. But I don't blame him. I blame the master. I blame the master. Because if you can see the people who are jittery, why are they jittery? Why don't they allow Kenyans to read? Why are they not allowing Kenyans to read? Because the Kenyans will discover what they are telling them is a lie, and what is here is the truth. Let Kenyans understand this is a healing period. And I will emphasize this, because this thing might not have come out. People need to have emphasized the healing period process as opposed to political process. If you are going to heal a person, you don't start by giving him more weight, more injuries, then you heal him later. This is like the process of South Sudan, where South Sudan, we are putting more problem on people by appointing vice president 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. When people are still injured, hello, people are injured, people are still in camps, people still want food, people, humanitarian catastrophe, disease, ignorance, food, hunger is striking people in Sudan. Then we are giving them more problem, political problem, instead of sorting out the main problem, which is accountability. The healing must take place. The healing process in Kenya is very important. We are heading for an election, but the people want to do this election the way it is, as it is. Because when you say it is okay, we do it as it is, let's prepare for ICC. Because there is a problem here already. When you look at the position, look at what Ichungwa, the MP for Kikuyu, has just said about Matiang'i. There's no respect there. The parliament is not going to be the same. The ministers The Constitution said, as you rightly, you are my researcher, you have done a few research, you have found out that the parliament to be changed, you need now a new
referendum.
It
has to go through.
You are changing the format of the parliament.
Putting in a prime minister.
To appoint a prime minister, to remove MPs.
Have they not seen that?
The MPs to become part of the, you must put a provision. What happens to that MP which has been covered by CS? So if you are removing that and then you are bringing in something new, you must go back to the people and ask them, why did they want a presidential? And now you are turning it to a parliamentary. Why? Those are questions that people must be left to decide. And another thing is, after this, all these MPs who are jittery, they should wait for a national convention. A national convention is coming, where people again will sit in either Bomas or Kasarani or wherever for 2 days or 3 days. It's up to the Kenyans. Now they hammer out, they say, yo, number one, ipite. Number two, iende hapo. How many of you finally want this thing to go to referendum? Mutufanyie question now. What is the question? Or hii iende pande hii biti yote ikaribishe na parliament. Mambo ingine iende kwa parliament. Lakini whether you want to go that route, utaruti hapa. Because there is a cul-de-sac. In the whole BBI has a cul-de-sac. Whoever designed it, he designed it in a cul-de-sac. You cannot run away from a referendum. You can't. There is no way. I have looked at the document the whole of 2-3 days. There are things that you talk and reach there, you are about to jump, then it says, no, jump through there. Everything you read, it is jammed there. Everything you read is jammed somewhere. You know, you are touching, the thing has touched on almost every core of the Constitution. Have you noticed that? It has touched.
It had to be pegged on the Constitution.
Yes.
Yes. And anything that touches on the supremacy of the Constitution, that is subject to a referendum. That is according to...
You cannot change it like you change corruption, that instead of sentencing you to 20 years, we shall be sentencing you to life. But even now, that one, if you want to remove bail from people, is a Bill of Rights.
Yes.
Have you seen? If you say you don't give bail to anybody in Kenya,
that's a Bill of Rights.
It's a Bill of Rights.
It must be subjected to
It's subjected to a constitution. You can't just come and announce. People will go to court and wrestle with you until you give them their right. You know? So, let people discuss. Jamen, the president said, let them discuss. Allow people to enjoy the discussion. Instead of going to meetings showing 38 MPs from Mount Kenya, they're saying, but I don't know, but there's one thing that I don't know why the president is leaving. This Kiunjuri man, this man, Mr. Kiunjuri, is very bad. You know what? This guy is gonna bring, you know, if you are illiterate and you are busy looking for a job, you could be more dangerous than the people who have master's degree or 200 degrees. You know, Kinjuri is looking for a job that he cannot manage. And such people can kill you. You know, he's determined. He's determined. He doesn't, you know, he doesn't have, Mr. Kinjuri, Honorable Minister, does not feel ashamed that the English is speaking in AU, people are laughing. And he continues speaking. I was in AU one time when he was presenting a paper on MPR. I had slightly quiet, the three of us, Kenyans, 2 Kenyans and myself, we just went out to say that when it comes to question time, he could wake up and see us in the audience. Because I was worried what people thought of Kenya, you know, when he was the Minister of Devolution. So, look, time has come for people to call your friends and see how many come. That's all I can say to the president. Let the president call the friends and let him see how many people will be coming. Yeah, how many people will be coming depends, you will count. Mr. President, if you are hearing, some of us have been with you for a long time, and we have stood by you, and we shall continue to stand by you. But some of the people that you entrusted with the responsibilities, I think they are letting you down. There is a food shortage. There is everything. The man does not know. Some friend of mine sent me this. And when I read it, I felt very ashamed. You see, a friend sent me something to say, Mr. Kiunjuri says he is a Minister of Agriculture. But David, can you ask whether he has ever seen this and worked on this? And these are the things, Miriam, what the guy sent. I was very, very embarrassed. It is very, very embarrassing that, where is it? He says, the minister. He says, the minister does, he says, Uhuru has done nothing, but he's the Minister of Agriculture. The prices of pyrethrum, the prices of coffee, this docket, cotton, sugar, all these fall under Mr. Kiunjuri. But he's going to Mount Kenya to collect his fellow MPs. He's the one who brought the synergy of assassination. He's the minister who was reporting, purported to have gone to Ruto and said they want to kill you. This is the same man, you know? So he is everything in wrong in Mount Kenya is associated. During the ICC, this Kiunjuri has a problem, and I'm going to tell it out soon. Because this Kiunjuri man, with another lady there is another lady who were buying witnesses. You know, there's quite a lot of things, I'm telling you. And he's still continuing. If I were him, I would keep quiet. You know, these people did quite a lot of things. They traded in people's blood. Now that Fadupe Suda is also coming to admit that I am right, I think time has come. We also now tell these people how far we have suffered also. And we also need a lot of apology from them. So, if I were President Uhuru Kenyatta, Mr. Kiunjuri would go home, let him go and oppose me, let the law follow him. You know, he's opposing because he has got a ministerial bodyguards. Muwache aende kwa watu mzee. Muwache aende kwa watu. Aanze mikutano huko Mount Kenya. Watu wamupige na yeye bila kitu. They just allow him. You can't give him a ministry. He goes to undermine you every day. What is it for? You have brought maize from Uganda to sell into Kenya to earn a living, and the farmers in the Rift Valley are making noise. Tena wanamuacha kukua hapo to molest more farmers. And he's using a government car, Range Rover V8 to drive to this rally with a flag. Mutoe, remove the flag. You remove the flag, man. Remove the flag from this guy. Aende tuone mkutano ambaye ataingia. Aanze kuzungumiza. People are giving him respect there because he's a minister. Remove it. Even now, if now the BBI is out, aende co-oppose. There's no need of masking these guys. You find him running to people's houses on Sunday to go hiding, to beg, not knowing he's being recorded. He has been selling information here and there. This guy here, this guy called Kinjuri, get him out of the cabinet. What is for? Why do you give a man a cabinet car to go and undermine you in your own backyard? No. We have done enough, Jamen. No. Kama kusaidika, tumejaribu. Wala, tumejaribu. You cannot be in government. You are running, you brought assassination. You know, Kenyans have forgotten. A few weeks ago, we had this, a few months ago, the story of assassination was high, and it was Kinjuri who leaked this information to Ruto camp.
That Mount Kenya was assassinate him. Very, very serious.
It's a serious allegation. Now Kenyans don't want to speak.
What happened to the investigation?
This is the same lumpen who rushed so fast to tell a lie that they were meeting to plan to kill you. A poor boy who was drafted to draft under forged papers is being beaten in front of the public in Bomas. You have been indicted. What is...
Indicted, yes.
No, not indicted. Yes, you have been indicted, you are in court, you are interdicted. Those are the English words I'm looking for. As a civil servant, you don't go back. You are still having a case in court. Itumbi goes to these public places, wants to pretend that he is still there. Walimutoa mbaya sana. On national TV, everybody was seeing. Crying tears, msimpige. Police anajua, no, we don't know Itumbi, we know the brother. You are not the real one. So kama polisi wanakuambia hiyo, unatafuta nini? Unatafuta nini huko, jameni? Some of us don't go to this national function. For what? Ulienda huko, mtu mwenye alikuwa anangojea huko anakuembarasi hapo. Anasema wewe mtanga, toka kwenda kaa huko, toka hapo. So everybody will be seeing light. Hata watoto yako wanasema, was that going for rice? We can send rice. So these guys have spoiled Uhuru's legacy. The legacy of His Excellency the President has been mutilated, has been destroyed by the same people that he gave authority, who are in authority. What is Kinjuri doing in a government of Uhuru Kenyatta? Surely, what is he doing there? Everything that has gone wrong has started from Kinjuri in the Mount Kenya region. He does meetings at night. He comes during that time to plead with those close to the president. Please, I'm a very good man. You know, this cannot be. Said, wacha tuzungumze haki. Tani mimi atanifanya nini? The best he can say is, don't ever come to my house. Do I know where his house is? I don't know. What will he do? Tutamwambiana kwa ukweli. He's a man, I'm a man. So hii maneno, this thing is not going to happen, to be okay if we continue on glossing. Don't gloss. Mtu ambayo analeta shida kwa President Uhuru Kenyatta kwa Mount Kenya, watu wawili au watatu. Moses Kuria, the beggar who turned into a millionaire, that beggar there of Gatundu South, he used to be a beggar for lunch from some of us. He now insults the president every morning. If you go to London without giving him €1,000, he will even come to the airport. This guy here, how many times have I lost my money in M-Pesa? How many times paying the air bill? no, M-Pesa, bail condition. Nobody wanted him. They left him. It is this Matanga who went with his 140,000, which was needed to make it 2 million for him to get out. He's insulting the president. So look at that. Why should one minister in your cabinet honestly disorganize you? And you give him a flag to fly to those places with bodyguards paid by your government. Achiwe akue raya aende Mount Elgon, Mount Kenya, patane na wenzi yake. Na wako kali huko, wapatane. He's not an MP. Toa flag. That's it. I think let's close. Kenya, you know what? Let's go to... There are some other people in the world needing our services.
Yes, indeed.
The question of elections in Kenya, and this is one thing I want to make it very clear. Elections in Kenya is always the breaking point. The BBI report, and those reading, please modify an electoral system mechanism. An electoral mechanism that will help Kenyans not to kill each other. I have no regrets, and the dead God help me. If you think I am talking rubbish, one day you will resonate, my words will resonate in your ears. Elections. You see now, there is nothing making Kenyans quarrel. When you see Ruto seated on the stand as if he has been poured on water, as if he has come from oil, cooking oil. You know, when you drop in cooking oil on the seat, your president is talking and you are not happy. You are even making gestures, time, get out, it is finishing time, as if you are not bothered. You have set people to come and say it. They said it. Everybody saw the body language, which you have done the analysis. It was not very good at all.
It was quite uncomfortable.
Uncomfortable.
Yes.
What is wrong with our society? Elections. Get these elections of Kenya right, and you will not have city mortuary extended with tents. There are women here now who specialize in doing tents. You know, they are praying for 2022 to arrive, to extend morgue tents, funeral services. You know, you Kenyans have brought a new culture. Zamani si tulikuwa under the tree, we bury our person and go home. Now you have brought a latest method, the tents. It's a big business. No? Where the kila kitu, kila mtu ako na katenti. Anaweka tent na flowers in it. Yeah. Here, everywhere. Can't weekend, Rosho tent. Rosho nini. This culture of copy-paste. Tents occur where there's a social service, a social system. Yes, you are copying too much and you cannot deliver. I'm telling you, you are climbing too fast and yet you spend more money. Part of the money in this country goes into those functions. Mtu analima tent, watu wanaenda Dubai, unapata wabibi wako container wameweka matenti, masheets, what? It is the business. Because it is here in Kenya that when it comes to campaigns, we are in trouble. But when there is no campaign, we are seated together, we are eating together, we are dancing together. No problem. But let there the word called campaign, election, Kenya goes into a different mood. Let Kenyans fix elections. I won't say much. People are reading. Avoid being rented to go and become a crowd. Use your brains to read this BBI. Where it is impossible, wait for national convention. Don't rush everybody. If there is a better way that you can do these things, don't hate the president. He has done his level best, and it has been put forward to the people right now. Thank you very much, Miriam. That's the much I can say about Kenya and the Kenya politics. And the next is Zimbabwe. Let's go.
Yes, indeed. And at the Hawks gathering, and the latest is a striking revelation has emerged from the DICO Symposium, a meeting that happened last month in South Africa. Officials representing Zimbabwe at the event have reacted to claims that the United States government offered to ease sanctions on the country if President Emmerson Mnangagwa addresses the issues surrounding the land reforms program issued in 2000. Now, the Zimbabwean ambassador to South Africa told the DICO event that the U.S. wanted the land returned to those who owned it at the turn of the century, but according to the ambassador, President Mnangagwa is still firm and is following through with the land reforms that former the late President Robert Mugabe started. So the U.S. was actually telling Zimbabwe, if you want us to ease on the sanctions, so you have to return that land to the white people. Essentially, that is what the U.S. was telling Zimbabwe.
To return to the white people, was it their land? Was it their land? Was this land in Zimbabwe taken on just, this was grabbed by Rhodes. Rhodes just grabbed the land. Now you are telling Zimbabweans that return the land to the owner. Who are the owners? Who are the owners in Zimbabwe? Emerson, you are my friend. And E.D. Emerson, you are my friend. I've told you through the methods you know every day. Please, stand firm. Don't allow Obasanjo to come to your place. I keep on telling people, African leaders, they don't listen to Matanga. Obasanjo is like Kofi Annan. They all have bad luck. When they come to your country breaks. Because at night they meet opposition and tell opposition that is what we want. That is, you see, Obasanjo, this topic is coming in South Africa of returning land to before sanctions are removed. It's coming because there are certain multinational companies that are going through Obasanjo to convince the government of Zimbabwe to release. So if you give us this, we shall remove this. The land belongs to the people of Zimbabwe. Whether yellow, white, green, black, it is their land. As long as you are Zimbabwean, you qualify to have land. But you cannot have 4,000 commercial farmers owning 80% of arable land in rainfall areas A and B, and leave 18 million blacks sleeping with leopards, hyenas, and the rest. No. No. If Mnangagwa does that, he's gone.
Mnangagwa has insisted, and I think that is...
If he does that, Elida, my brother Elida, you listen to me all the time. Listen to me. Don't. Let them have the sanctions. After all the sanctions, one day they will go away. There will be a government that will think America is not allowing demonstrations on the streets to destroy properties in Washington, D.C. Why should America tell Zimbabwe to have demonstrations in order to show that democracy is existing in Zimbabwe?
So these claims of human rights abuse and democracy and things like that, could this just be a camouflage of the bigger issue they have? Because now we see the intentions. They want the land to be returned to the white farmers, the white owners that had it before the 2000 land reform. So all these things, they're now bringing up the human rights report and abuse and democracy that they're saying it's repressed in the government of Mnangagwa. This is just a camouflage of really the intentions in Zimbabwe.
What human rights? Doctors abducted themselves. Then they end up saying they were abducted by the government. Can you be abducted and then your phone works? unless the abductor is charging it, isn't it? How could you be abducted and your phone works after 1 week? And yet with this current environment, I can check a phone of a person in Zimbabwe. I can check with Econet through Liquid in Nairobi and find out where the person is in Zimbabwe. How can the phone work an abducted doctor? Americans should think. Such actions are being done by American ambassador in Zimbabwe. The American ambassador in Zimbabwe should be told that Zimbabwe is not a state of America. It is a sovereign state under the United Nations.
In Africa.
And I don't know why Emerson is playing with this, with goon. He's a goon. He's not an ambassador. You see, the worst thing in you people don't know. If you have lived with these guys for more than 30 years, like some of us, the worst thing you can do is to be arrested by a Jamaican cop in London. A Jamaican will arrest you because he's black. He wants to justify your being in his cells. And when the chief inspector of the station comes, said, yes, sir, I arrested this man from you. This country, he's here.
So he's trying to justify his existence.
Exactly. That's what they do in the United. Black African will always fix you in London. A Mzungu will say you pass that traffic light. You have not had any alcohol. You say, no, I'm just running because I was late for work. You say, okay, next time don't pass that light. But if a Jamaican comes out of the police car, anybody in London will tell you today what I'm telling you. They will fix you. The problem that Zimbabwe faces is a black ambassador from the United States. Johnny Carson's, when he was in the United States, in Zimbabwe, Johnny Carson's brought us more chaos. It is Johnny Carson's, a black man, who brought sanctions on Zimbabwe. It is Johnny Carson's, a black man, when he came to Kenya, who brought problems for Kenya. It's Johnny Carson's, today, a black man who is funding Vanguard Africa, which is part of MDC, that is killing Zimbabwe. Yeah. Zimbabweans watch. If Emerson is not careful, the hawks are hovering. They are there. They are there. George Soros. They are looking for him. A small voiced long head called Jonathan Moyo. That one there. That one there. He has never apologized to me. That Garant. He has never apologized. What he did to me. He did something very bad. I almost died. He wanted to kill me. That's Jonathan Moyo. Today he's also in exile, begging food like I do. Have you seen how painful it is? Seen how painful it is? Never kill another one. And the people who spoiled Zimbabwe. Today is in exile over Twitter writing things. Here, go under this, get this. But he's a man who spoiled it.
But President Mnangagwa has come out and said he will continue with the land reforms that were started by his predecessor, the late President Robert Mugabe. He's not stopping, and he wants the land to be returned to the people who had the land, that is the black Zimbabweans. And that reminds me of an interview that the late President had with the CNN, Amanpour, to be specific. And I think she asked him the same question. Why did the government take land from Zimbabweans? And Robert Mugabe asked, which Zimbabweans, what are you talking about? And they said the white farmers. And they said, this land, this was stolen property. So we are just recovering the stolen property. Then from there, we can find mechanisms in which to give out this land in ways that are proper. And if they want to buy it back, they could do it. But this was stolen property. So the government was just recovering private properties. So this move by the United States, are saying that the only way that they're going to ease the sanctions they have on Zimbabwe is only if the president, Naganga, will agree to return the lands to the white minority farmers who owned huge chunks of lands before the year 2000, where the former president introduced some land reforms and programs to make sure that the people who this land was taken from illegally perhaps were able to get it back and were able to be empowered through farming and other ways.
Thank you very much. Sanctions always will hurt the people of Zimbabwe. Whether targeted or whichever format they're in, sanctions don't change governments in Africa. They only hurt the people, the local people. Thank you.
All right, so we move to our third item on the menu, which is South Sudan, and the clock is ticking towards a deadlock. And now the latest is that the U.S. government's withdrawal of its envoy of South Sudan has stoked anger among President Salva Kiir's very close associates, even as the opposition appeared to back Washington's headline stance on Juba. The U.S. on Monday recalled its ambassador to South Sudan, Thomas Hushek, sending a strong signal that he did not support the decision to allow more time for the country's political protagonists to form a unity government. But as Juba screamed victim throughout the week, the opposition said it did not feel the negotiations with President Kiir's government were progressing at the right pace, even as the clock ticks towards their 100 days deadline. So basically, Doctor, in a nutshell, Mr. Machar and his group are actually in support of U.S. government pulling out its ambassador to South Sudan. That is what Machar is supporting.
You know what? Africa doesn't listen. I told you, South Sudan, the clock is ticking. The clock is on it. It's time against race. If Riek Machar does not arrive in 100 days, we shall meet in a tribunal, a United Nations tribunal. What the United States has done is to play cat and mouse. You know, cat and mouse on the question of South Sudan. It has simply said with its intelligence, adverse intelligence, they know this war will never end. So what they have done is just to play it and leave it to go the way it is. The United States knows very well that Riek Machar will never come. Conditions on the ground in Juba are still the same as they were. There is hatred between Riek Machar supporters and Salva Kiir supporters. The hatred emanates from the president and the Riek Machar. Them two people have created ego that has created down to the army officers. Army officers of the other tribes are being embarrassed in public. Their titles, their ranks removed. You have seen such a clip running around. There is still a lot of animosity between these two warring groups. The best that I can suggest is like this. We have done it wrongly. Can we correct it today? Impossible. IGAD, that is supposed to be the main spearheading, the spearhead of these peace talks. IGAD, it has its own internal fight. Kenya and Djibouti have locked horns. There is no unity in IGAD anymore. Unity is on paper. But when they sit down, Kenya, Djibouti, and Somalia have patterned up, created a fault, a crack in IGAD. So Kenya is isolated through international relations at the moment as we speak in the region. When it comes to Burundi issue, Kenya is again isolated. We haven't done so much to unite, to bring that cohesiveness in East Africa and IGAD. You saw the meeting that was in Addis Ababa. It decided a compromise had to be reached. Kenya was supposed to take the chairmanship or the executive secretaryship. Djibouti refused. You see, this whole fight has gone up to the United Nations on the seat where we could have taken a general consensus and allowed Kenya to take. And can I say one thing? Always in this country, I speak and the people go back to undermine me. But one day I will speak, they might not hear my voice again. You know why? I've told you, Kenya is being undermined by France. And the people still don't believe me. Who is telling Djibouti to stand firm? France. Because it benefits from, one, the language. Two, you think France will vote for Kenya? Aye. Let's not lie to the president. If we want allowances to go to New York, we can have it. This is like a Sudan or campus stupid story. Don't lie. Must lie kwa president. I think someone needs to tell the president that this is exactly the hii watu wapendi sisi wakutupendi Somalia huyu Faramijo na Djibouti, they don't like Kenya anymore. Let's not pretend and go on telling the president that things are no, things are not very good. There is no much international activism here. Kenya has lacked the power of international activism. It has collapsed internationally on such matters. We are in trouble. And nobody should sit here and tell a lie that we are okay. Okay where? If you can't resolve IGAD, it's IGAD. IGAD. Where we are the regional power. Kenya is the regional power here. Kenya has troops. It marshals troops to send troops into Somalia. It has the authority. Someone must inject a new blood to work out a solution for this country to be recognized. I'm telling you now, for free. We've lost it. How can a country like Djibouti molest us? It's because the French tell us during that time we are very good friends. At night they are also telling Djibouti, we shall marshal all French-speaking countries in the world to vote for you. Let the results come. If we win, God will be with us. And as usual, Kenya is held by God. I'm telling you. But on the question of planning for this win, we have failed. We guzzle the money, and I come up later on, we say we did, we tried. But there is nothing happening. The relationship between Somalia and Djibouti is dead. Is dead. I'm supposed to be on a panel of the Dr. Kagwanja, Professor Kagwanja, Professor Damba. I beat some of them on this matter. But someone paid national television for Matsanga never to appear there. You can see the type of hatred, how cheap people are. Can you see that? Why don't you argue with Matanga that defeat him? Why do you pay people not to allow me? What have I done wrong? Because I speak the truth. The truth is here. Kenya is hated now by Djibouti. There is no much glossing over it by Somalia. We can just pretend things are all right, but they are not.
Things, yes.
And that is why it is affecting the peace process in South Sudan.
That IGAD has been trying to spearhead. But I just have two questions on this, perhaps before we move to the next country. And it has been reported that Riek Machar is quite happy and in support of that move by the United States to remove its ambassador. I'm just curious, why would Machar be in support of that? Why is he not worried that they're not meeting the deadline? Because he's also confessed that the progress so far is not moving in the right pace. And if that is the case, what can the players that are involved, IGAD, what can IGAD come in quickly and do to make sure that they salvage the peace process? But first of all, why is Machar in support of the U.S. removing its ambassador from South Sudan? Why would he be happy?
You're asking a very good question.
Why? Would he be celebrating?
Me?
No, why would Machar be celebrating? He seems to be happy that the U.S. has removed. He's in agreement with that move.
Can I tell you? Want me to say the truth? Okay, viewers, I'm going to say the truth. Riek Machar is supported by the United States of America. He's my friend. I don't want to hide anything. He has more links in the US, and he's well, especially this Republican government. He's very well linked. That's why he's happy that they have listened to him. They have taken the ambassador. The United States of America does not like Mr. Salva Kiir at all. So they will prefer, in the doctrine of the CIA, there are two methods. You are pushed out through a popular uprising from the people, like the Arab uprising spring. You are pushed out by the army, which they can instigate to push you out, or you are assassinated. So which one do you prefer to go to?
Because under Obama,
no, I'm asking
in
you
2015, U.S. withdrew its leading role in terms of finding peace in South Sudan.
Exactly.
Yes.
They have a doctrine.
Until now, when Trump...
It is not the government. It is the State Department has a doctrine on how to handle South Sudan. They have always favored Mr. Riek Machar. Why do you hide? Why do you hide? Why? Dr. Riek Machar is my friend. But I've told him it is not the United States that has drafted a resolution. It's another country in Europe which is going to draft a resolution. And that country will not care about America. These guys are ending up in a tribunal. And I've been singing it here day and night. Paka mwaka imeisha, unaona? These guys are going to a tribunal. The earlier they sign, they get the thing, even if it is bad, come. The United States. Can you tell me United States refuses to gazette Al-Shabaab as a terrorist group which has maimed us in Kenya? We ran people blankets, bottles in the head, and it says it is a very good organization. That's the United States of America. That's the foreign policy of a superpower. It refuses to gazette Boko Haram. Tell me, you think they don't know the leaders of Al-Shabaab? They know. But one of these days, by the time this Kenyan minister, foreign affairs people who are not telling the truth, they will wake up in the morning they will find that the United States of America is meeting Al-Shabaab in Doha.
Well, they're back having conversations with the Taliban now. So anything is possible. But Mr. Riek Machar has expressed his worry that the progress is not at the right pace. So far, nothing has been able to achieve. Now that he said this in good time, I assume, because the deadline is on the 22nd of February, what can other stakeholders, other even individual countries, members of IGAD or African Union, what can anybody do to come in and salvage this process?
Solution. One, the United Nations appoints a peace envoy designated with powers to shoot and kill anybody who violates the ceasefire.
They have one like that in DRC.
Yeah.
It's not working.
There is no peace process in Sudan to keep. Therefore, United Nations peacekeepers should be turned into peace enforcers, not peacekeepers. Because there is no peace to keep in Sudan. You are keeping Juba. You are keeping the capital city, Juba, while people are suffering inside. United Nations, appoints a special envoy designated for South Sudan, able to order a shoot and a kill policy on any leader. Two, United Nations embarks on accountability program together with the people, the government of South Sudan, to constitute or to institute a commission of inquiry into the atrocities committed by both armies or all the armies that were involved in South Sudan. Three, United States of America stops United Nations, stops double standards. Either you want South Sudan peaceful, stops to blame countries like Kenya. They should not blame Kenya because Kenya has taken the blame of all. Kenya cannot kill these refugees and turn them away. Kenya should not be blamed because it will discourage an international, a regional approach. Four, any leader who refuses to turn up for peace agreement signing goes to the tribunal. You will see the agreement signed. You will see the agreement. If you don't do that and give people, the people top, the peace agreement, what is happening in Juba is the leadership down peace agreement. You are appointing 5 vice presidents when the people don't know even who is vice president number 5. They are suffering, they are in camps. And you are appointing men globally the little money from the oil which is left there, which you share every day, every month, when people are suffering. That's not a peace process.
Yes, that is not a peace process, and something that you mentioned there, and I think I'll just reiterate on that point. This report that was given to a panel gave the United Nations Security Council some report about the activities and some neighboring countries they say were hampering the peace process in South Sudan, and Kenya happened to have been mentioned. But when you read the role that perhaps they're accusing Kenya to have played in regards to that, you realize this is just a sideshow. Whatever the problems are that are holding up these leaders not to come together and make sure that they achieve this unity government, things to do with security, the number of army officials they want from each side, how are they going to work that out, the security of Riek Machar that has not been assured for him to come back and be in Juba, and also governing structures. Dr. Matanga has mentioned there. South Sudan, they have 5 vice presidents and 1 president, and that has not found a solution to their governance problems. So those are problems that have to Kenya, Ethiopia, Uganda that were mentioned in this report, and Burundi, I think, have nothing to do with it. These are internal problems in South Sudan. So if United Nations, really, the way you say they stop the double standards, that they should now go in and assist South Sudan trying to take care of these internal problems that they have, so that other stakeholders in the other countries can come in and help and assist South Sudan, as they have been doing. Kenyans, we've been very welcoming to the refugees from South Sudan, and we will continue to do that, I believe, and from other parts of the country, because these people suffer not the wish of their own. So we can only do what's best as neighbors and brothers to these countries. But the United Nations should stop with the double standards, as Dr. Matsanga, you've said. Let them go in there and help these people figure out the internal problems, because the problems that are keeping them away from forming this unity government have nothing to do with any country in particular, but the leadership are there in South Sudan. So let them stop with the sideshows and let them stop with the double standards and these things that might not even help in bringing the peace together. So now that Riek Machar has come out there and said, it's not progressing in the way that it should be, I want to see the report, or I want to see the reaction by the United Nations. I want to see a reaction by the African Union. How can now they come in and make sure that this peace process is back to where it should be before the 22nd of February, which is the new, deadline, which I'm even now, when you read things like this, I'm even fidgeting. Will it even happen? Or it's another deadline that will not even come to fruition?
This one, it needs some of us who know Riek to start talking to him. And that is, in Kenya, it is impossible. With the current status of the foreign affairs, they won't allow you even to bring them a report that I can help.
He can't even travel to any IGAD country.
No, they cannot. Even if you go there voluntarily, because I can go to Sudan voluntarily and see Riek and convince Riek to come home. But then you come and take the report to who? Who in the ministry will receive your report?
And if you convince Riek to
when
come,
they have, yeah,
will you,
they will come around in the morning to say, we did it. There is this thing of bravado. We did it. Mm-hmm. So you leave it. There's nothing. You leave it. That Riek is easily convinced. Mm-hmm. When he has somebody he likes. I have never been on his wrong side. I'm his friend. But I tell him the truth.
But can you assure him of his security? Because he worries so much.
Nobody can assure. Did he assure me security in Kampala? he bungled me on a plane and sent me into Museveni's hands.
But from what happened in 2016, he has every right to be scared of.
Yes, he bungled me into Kampala. Riek. Mm-hmm. And when they served the tea up to there, then it reaches mine. My cup was not served. I've gone through a lot.
Why?
I don't know. Then the guy went down to bring tea.
Were you scared?
To start? No, listen. He bring tea to start serving. I have a video.
Did you worry about
you are that my daughter. I have.
I've never heard
my pain. It was doing my good job. Mm-hmm.
So it got finished when it came.
Chai ilifika kwangu ilikata. Kuna the so the guy said he's going down to bring Moti.
Who said Riek Machar?
No.
The person who was serving.
Okay. So when he came with the tea, I said, I'm sorry. I took a lot of orange. Apana, no, sorry, I know they poured it. Then I said, Dr. Rugunda, you drink it. I'm open. Mm-hmm. And I'm honest, man. We left the tea. It was there. Riek bangled me in a plane and took me.
So you need to return the same favor.
I also want to bring him.
Sudan.
Yes. He guaranteed my security in Kampala, mm-hmm. which is true. And I came back.
Mm-hmm. All right. So as the clock keeps ticking on South Sudan matter, we shall continue to update you on how this. Yes.
What I was only saying, let's get some people who can talk to Riek Machar. I am willing, on behalf of IGAD, if I'm facilitated, I will make a breakthrough.
So how do we start this process?
I swear in the name of God, I'm a key.
Do we write to IGAD?
I know.
What should we do?
It is up to Kenya. They are watching. But the problem I've told you, here in Kenya, somewhere someone does not want us. Even this thing of this maritime, I just, went by the way. They never wanted me to touch it. But when I went in, I conquered, I saw, I came, I conquered, isn't it? Judge says, musilete those complaints now, wacha mimi niende. Didn't I buy time for them? But they don't want. They don't want. Everybody wants to get credit. I did it. Where? Look now. Look the ICC. Look, my daughter. Who was saying everything? Who applied? Ask any of these people. And you are going to soon see lawyers coming up. We are the ones. No. That's why I've come out to say it's myself, it's me. I struggled slowly. I said I punctured Ocampo slowly. I said he will one day tell the world I was a liar. He told me I was a liar. You know, the judges refused all my applications because the woman told them I'm a liar. Now I've found them. Now, Mr. I don't know. For Tupe Sud, I don't know what you'll do. Because I'm coming for you, ma'am. We have to review all those cases which you said I was lying versus the new statement you have brought. Then we finish there. You do an international apology for me. Restitute my life. Rudisha roho yangu. Mnaniharibia jina. Waliniharibia jina. They said I was a liar.
They damaged your character.
My children said, Daddy, you're a liar. You produced us, all of them 8. They said you're a liar. And you wanted Fatu Besuta to walk with Kitenge everywhere. When she's not a liar, anybody stopping me will not be my friend. I'm going for it. My lawyer has given me instructions. We are going, I swear, all these African cases will be reviewed. And I'm promising here, all the African cases in the ICC will be reviewed. I promise you, I want them reviewed because they were based on lies. If they did that in Kenya, what about in other places? We can't leave an international agency walking free. Impossible. Impossible. Have you seen now? I deliver. Thanks God some of the things are happening when I'm still alive. I don't want people to come to All Saints Church to say, oh, that's the only church where you can pray for me. Never pray for me anywhere. These churches with guitar. Oh, no. I did it. On my own resources, I lost. I went to the High Court here to remove a work envelope. The Attorney General said he opposes me. Now see, Attorney General, see where we are heading. Angalia, uone paka utarudi kwangu. Some of us were born with a talent from God. Give it credit where it is due. You can have all the positions, drive Mercedes and sleep in all these big houses in Irunda and where, but you might not have the talent we have. I swear. I predicted, you see, if Kenya does not, I told Kenya to leave. South Africa is now leaving. I told Kenya to leave this thing here.
ICC.
Yes, by now we would be very far away. Watu walisema huyu Muganda. You know, Muganda, wanamwambia mimi Muganda. When that trouble came, the Muganda was not a Muganda, was a friend. So I have turned into a Muganda. Fine. But you wait, look at the events, the way the woman is leaving, she wants to leave someone there. Don't you see? Anataka kuwacha kitu hapo. Ataumiza mtu, walai ya Mungu. If we don't check her early enough, we have a problem, Houston. It all emanated from South Sudan, double standards. Who was telling Fatou Bensouda to arrest Kenyans? George Soros and the Rainbag. Who are they? They all work for CIA. Are they not the ones that Mr. Salva Kiir hired? How can you hire an enemy to defend you? South Sudan.
The clock is ticking again.
It is. Let them just involve some of us. I'll deliver Riek Machar to the table. Other than that, you are wasting your time. The United States of America has already seen a military formation that will topple the government of South Sudan. That's why they are leaving. You have been pestering me to say it, and I've said it for you.
Well, because the people of South Sudan really want to know what's happening there. So
yes.
So glad you spoke your mind today.
Yes, I've said it. Yeah. They know there's a military formation that is going to overrun Juba. That's why they are calling the ambassador. United States doesn't call the ambassador from terrible place. Even in Libya, they never tried to call the ambassador. They even returned another one. But when they call the ambassador to leave, you know you are in chaos. So Salva Kiir, the little money left of dollars of oil, use it effectively by getting us to speak out against that type of formation. Otherwise, the tribunal is being arranged. Cameroon.
All right, and Ambazonia in the horizon. And just the other day, 3 international organizations ended an official visit to Cameroon with a call for efforts to restore security, justice, and conditions for the resumption of normal life in the English-speaking Northwest and Southwest region. And these organizations included the Commonwealth and African Union and the International Organization of the Francophone Delegation. So one of your friends there, her name is Patricia somebody, the Commonwealth. She was part of the leading delegation that went to the State House and met with the President Paul Biya, and they were just trying to talk to him in seeing that peace and security is restored in the Ambazonia region. But we all know that is not what Ambazonia wants. Ambazonia wants a referendum.
I have been able to talk to Madame yesterday. And I think there is light. There is also pressure from the Biya government inside that he better leave it go.
There's internal pressure on the president himself.
Yes.
Okay.
You see, the more you grow with the institution, the more some people become well arranged and they start challenging you quietly. You've seen what has happened with Museveni government?
If you overstay, yes.
Yes, if you overstay, Museveni is being challenged. is being challenged daily, on a daily basis, from his own people. Paul Biya is also being now told, no, this thing, you are 89, you are collapsing in front of the palace.
It's embarrassing to the
Embarrassing
country.
president of a country collapsing, going to the master who has taken your money.
Because he should be enjoying his old age, not traveling the world. He should be traveling the world, relaxing and just enjoying his sunset days, not trying to...
So they are telling him to get off, to allow this Ambazonian to go. I saw a document that is still, what is it called? I saw a document which is very, very classified.
From his own internal organs.
Yes, they are saying, no, leave it go, let it go. So when I talked to Patricia briefly about it, 1.5 minutes to 2, when we meet sometime next year, I think she will have resolved. It is time that they have come now to look at this whole matter. There's some hope at the horizon, and let's hope so.
All right, and of course, Mr. Musa Faki, the chairman of African Union, was also there, and he said, you know what, dialogue is the only way that could find a lasting peace between the Anglophones, Ambazonians, and Paul Biya's government. So yes, he was there. He was representing the African Union.
Which Mr. Faki?
The chairman of AU.
Can we go to another topic?
Let's go to Nigeria and Buhari.
Because this is what he should have done a long time ago. The gentleman has let down Africa. Africa needs a very vibrant, aggressive chairperson of the African Union, a Pan-African, a man who believes in Africa itself, not a person who believes in instructions from France. Yeah.
And we go to Nigeria, where Buhari has killed the dream of Nigeria. And just before we get into that conversation, right now, police in Abia State has vowed to take a decisive action against the leader of the indigenous people of Biafra, Nnamdi Kanu, if he returns to Nigeria for the burial of his mother. So Nnamdi, the mother died last month, and he's been wanting to go back to Nigeria and bury. I can't even imagine the pain and agony this person must be going through. And Doctor, you've said here several times that you never had an opportunity to bury your own father. And Nnamdi Kanu seems to be facing the same challenge, and he wants to go back to Nigeria to bury his mother. But the police said, you know what, we're waiting for him. He's a wanted person, and we don't care. He has a warrant over his head. So when he comes here, the first thing we will do, we will arrest him. So I don't know how you'll make of this situation.
It's very challenging, very painful, because it happened to me in 1987. When I lost my dad out of the brutality of the systems, I was here. People had to lock me in the house in order not to escape and go. They locked me in a house. Actually, my brother-in-law, called Captain Baraza, put a real guard himself on the door to make sure any noise being seen this way, they check. May his soul rest in peace. He passed away. I wanted to go. I was determined to go and face, at least to bury my father. Tears came down. I cried. I looked at all the things. But I composed myself. I'm the firstborn out of the 11 people whom I was left responsibility for. So it is painful. I can see how painful Nnamdi Kanu takes. But the toll of pain of politics of Nigeria is what pains him more. That at that time, Mr. Besigye did not know that he would be beaten until his eyes become red. Because he was the one who put a ban on us. He's the Minister of State for Internal Security of Uganda, Mr. Besigye. Put a ban, issued statements, roadblocks. My own place. The type of roadblocks. And this is not a lie. I hope people in my county are watching. They'll tell you, those who were there, roadblocks everywhere. I was not as fat as now. Like a small man, tall, young, energetic, handsome. There were roadblocks in my county from every corner. Battalion was sent there. They buried my father. Even people were saying, but why didn't they allow him to? But when people saw the uniforms, even now, the barrier became bigger because people were ready to take. People are ready. Today, they were ready to take action. To cover me, even to die to die with me. But I said, okay, fine. Let me not go. I stayed, and I hope Namdi Khan, wherever you are, Buhari is not a man you talk to. He's a man who has destroyed Nigeria. The best you can do is stay away. One day you will give a very good burial. One day. That's all I can say. It's painful, but the people who did these things 40 years ago, 30 years ago, the things have come to haunt them. Who was Kizza Besigye? Who was Mugisha Muntu? Who was Nobert Mao? All these were handbag carriers of Museveni.
They created themselves?
Yes, they carry Museveni's handbag everywhere. Dr. Kizza Besigye carried even more. Mugisha Muntu was a commander that finished northern Uganda. Nobert Mao is a man who had actually finished himself career-wise. He served the NRM. This Bob Wine singer sang songs in praise. Hello, Ugandans, don't you see? Have you seen why I'm determined? I'm the only person who does not work, will never work. I gave him peace, surrendered it. He wanted it. The international community put me on pressure. I went and looked for a killer. He even hammered my money. My allowance never gave me. Him. I still pray. And that peace in Uganda will hold forever. Forever. No violence anymore. Even if I lost the money, don't ever try. If I hear you talk about violence, I'll report you. I like peace. But the same people who did all these things to me, that's why you see my suffering. That's why you see God has kept me alive. Are these guys, the Besigye group, that the political commission, Sasa Kamisha, uko wapi? Ame kamanda, piga, ongeza moto. The bed that you made, you sleep on it. You expected Matanga to sleep on it. Sleep on it. All of these people, this young man, every Kenyan is praising, oh, go home and help. How do I help a man who used to sing in praise? Oh, webale, thank you very much. I have never sung a thank you, Mzee. Because I'm Kikosi Malum 208 KJ. Kikosi Malum 208 KJ. So, I will never sing. I'm a general, I'll go down that way. If it catches me in the middle, God help me. Go. Go. Look now. Muzei turned on them. Turned on them, not me. Me, I crossed and I said, Allah, you know, Ugandans forget so easily. When I was in this thing, and I was telling this thing that let's have parties, parties came. You can go back to BBC, go back and check my records. Because some people, when they see me in the streets of Nairobi, London, they think that I am like them. Nowhere. Check my records in BBC. The whole hours I spent fighting for the return of multipartyism in Uganda. It is me, this voice, with the very good English of Shakespeare, with Robin White. Type the name Robin White, Dr. Matsanga. Type it. Type it now in the BBC. You will see type the name Jonathan Mann and CNN, the Matsanga. You will see who spoke to Clinton. Only me. This voice for 1.5 hours. Hooked from London, Clinton was in Uganda. You remember? The only human being on planet Earth is me. I was fighting for that fight. For that parties to come back. For peace to start. People said I was a madman. I said there is no way you will finish this conflict. Lazima tuende kwa kukaa chini. The man came in and you know that interview Jonathan Mann and Matanga and Clinton and the President Museveni. Museveni came in and said that one there. I said you can point a finger at me, but if you don't have a seat process. And the Clinton agreed. He said the gentleman is correct. There is a need for peace. There is a need for wider dialogue. You must engage them. I won the debate. While this message, they were busy. Wanakunywa supu, wanakula nyama, wanakula matoke, paka wanakula na bitu ina ndani ya mzee. Sasa mzee anajeuka, hataki kusikia kitu. Not me. I lost $342,000 of allowances. People are not sympathetic with me up to today. If I was a Munyankole, I would have been paid. I would say this a shame until the president one day and the Rugunda, they give me my money. That money was my allowance. I was not begging them to give me for money for exchange of anything. I worked hard. $340,000. If I had died, my children will be on the streets, destitute. Then you tell me crap here. I have not started yet. And don't make me start. I thank the British government that allowed me to go. They wrote to me the letter and they said, you go. I had refused to go. And that's why I'm telling you, Riek Machar, please, Riek Machar, you put me forcefully on the plane to go into Uganda after 23 years of never stepping there. So why don't you go there now? Why don't you come now in Juba? I'm coming for you in Khartoum. I am going to speak to General Duglo this afternoon. The people of South Sudan need peace. Duglo is a friend of all of us. You can't dominate him alone. You know, because this has to happen. Sudanese are dying. People have not gone to school. Look, you people see the problem we have in East Africa. These people for 5 years have not gone to school. Children who are supposed to be in school are not in school. And we are here getting meetings at Addis Ababa where wasting giving money from a government that you are going to Addis Ababa to discuss these monsters. Wache tupate hawa, muwache waende kwa Trabino. Leave them. They don't want peace. Let them go to a Trabino. Once they hear the word Trabino, the signatures will come flowing like water. There is no way you are going to bring peace in South Sudan without telling them this is the last cut. The Rubicon, you cross it, we go down with you. We are playing with them. Why should Riek Machar be very happy with the removal of the ambassador? He was even celebrating. I think his troops in the field even shot in the air. They have succeeded diplomatically to cripple Salva Kiir. Because once the United States departs, it means the rest of the European Union
is on its way out.
Is on its way out. Give it only weeks by January. I know of 2 countries that are going to announce departure from Juba. Then you know that what this stupid Ugandan man talks is correct. They will be delivered to the tribunal. Yes, this I am not sending him. I'm saying he needs more friends like me to encourage him. I have not sent him to go to Juba. I'm telling him to encourage him to sign an agreement, allow, even if he's in Juba, allow the formation of the government to stall a United Nations-backed tribunal which has been drafted by the same people of the United Nations Security Council. That's it. And take that message to him. I tagged him to here. Am I lying? I'm not lying. He knows I don't lie. I'm like him. I talk the truth. You can't wait. If you are waiting back and still waiting for security, sign the agreement. Quisha. Allow your people to be formed, come home and do the Stephen and the Jesus. Stephen came to clear the way. No, John. John came to clear the way. Send the people to clear the way in the cabinet. Within this month of December, let them acclimatize. Is that the best English word? Acclimatization of the situation in Juba. Acclimatize themselves within the government, slots be given. Then you come later on the final day, sign, give mandate. Don't wait there, don't sign, then don't come. They are coming for you. Haven't I given good advice there?
You have.
I'm not only condemning.
So I hope they're listening out there, because I think the patience of the rest of the stakeholders is actually running out. Not just the United States, but even other African countries who have been supporting.
Look, it's bringing Kenya to chaos. Soon the United States of America is going to land on Kenya to say, why didn't you implement? You see, recently, they said there was a man who passed here and they went to South Africa. The general. Mm-hmm. You remember? And
another one has a bank account here.
Yes. These are complications being brought to the government of Kenya, which has helped the peace process. So don't avoid those things. And on Nigeria, it is true, Nigeria, Buhari has killed Nigeria. There is one thing that the Nigerians want to learn, and they should learn from me. Buhari is a French officer. I know his numbers, I know everything. I know whom he reports to. There's a section in the DSGE where African leaders, that's the French external intelligence, pick pocket money. One of the pocket money people is Obasanjo. It was Kofi Annan, the head of that unit. He picks pocket money, pocket. Now he's left the wife and another Ghanaian called Dr. Nana Busia. What? Wako na kiti, wanapiki hapo ka pocket money. So, Buhari is an officer of the French. You follow back what Obasanjo is the chairman, life chairman of Alcatel. Life chairman? Alcatel is a French company, isn't it? Mm-hmm. Alcatel.
Telecommunications.
Communication is a French armed company which listens to all our discussions, including mine. But Obasanjo is the life chairman. He's Nigerian. Can you get such a post? In Nigeria, borders have been closed. You cannot go anywhere. The people are being, younger men in the southeastern are being brutalized. Nobody is talking. Mr. Buhari is waiting for his term to finish, and he is seeking to marry another wife. You see, he has the energy at 75. He wants to energize himself. So it is sad. A big African country with the biggest population in Africa, where we could be doing trade, the president is looking to marry another woman. Instead of getting petrol and essential commodities on the streets of Abuja, Lagos, and a peace return in Port Harcourt, in Onitsha, in Amba, in all the states of the southeastern, there is chaos. There is chaos. And while AU is watching, because AU chairperson is also a French, he gets pocket money. Kutoka kwa French pass. Keep quiet while they die. You know? Zuma ended up the mess he's in because he was the head man of all these intelligence officials. The club of the 7. 2 have perished. 5 are still present. Mm-hmm. I don't know whether you care to know the names.
I can guess the names.
They are perished. 2 are gone down. 5 are present. Ask me. Whenever you see them near your country, they frequent your country, know that there is either an uprising, a coup, or there will be demonstrations, or something will happen. You remember Gaddafi's death? Who was the Secretary General of African Union? The chairperson.
Secretary General was of African Union?
Yes.
I can't remember.
The AU chairperson was a man from Gabon, Dr. Jean Ping. French operative number 4 in Africa. Dr. Jean Ping from Gabon hired a plane to take 5 presidents to Tripoli to remove Gaddafi, then stole the plane in Bamako. On the runway. On the runway. That's number 1. He went back to contest for elections. He banned the parliament. He banned both the Supreme Court. He killed 400 people. Has he ever been taken to the ICC? Has he ever been taken to the ICC? No. Dr. Jean Ping. Let's go.
The double standards.
Double standard. Mr. Obasanjo delivered the gentleman who saved Sierra Leone, lied to him that come home, I'll give you security. At night, he called the Americans to take him. Where is Taylor?
Charles Taylor. He's serving time.
Let's go. So you have touched me. You want me to tell you?
But the wife is, I think, the vice for George Joel.
It's okay. Slowly, let's go. You want the people who betray Africa. Those are 2. Morgan Changarai, the late. Have you ever seen French giving Saud knighthood? They gave him a knighthood.
Knighthood is a British thing.
No, they also invented the knighthood equivalent.
Oh, okay.
He went down. Kofi Annan married to a French lady, very serious lady, highest approach in the French system. Study these things. I think students from UCI, what is this Casimolo University here called what? Casimolo one here near Safari Park. UCI, USS what?
United States International.
Yeah, that one. Take me there. The students will love me. Because I will bring the truth only. UCI,
USIU.
Learn this, speak a pen. Someone said it's writing. Right. Madame Kofi Annan recruited Annan. Annan's last mission on planet Earth was Syria. He left Syria bleeding. Have you seen it? Is it the same Syria? Then I warned Emerson that he is coming there. Give him strictly 6 to 7 days to leave. We shall save Zimbabwe. May God rest his soul in peace. How many are those? Let's go. Jacob Zuma. This is a traitor. Jacob Zuma came to power from Mbeki. Removed Mbeki. Who provided logistics to remove Mbeki? French. The arms were bought from where? France. At the beginning, the French gave Mbeki the information. Then they retracted the information. Then they released their Professor Mavi Haupen. Professor Maupen was supposed to be a witness in the ICC cases against Kenyans, claiming that he knows Kikuyu. He learned Kikuyu in 6 months and Kalenjin in 6 months. I went and I got all the record of Professor Have Maupen delivered him out of the ICC through his buttocks. He went home to sleep. Fatou Bensouda never brought Mopen to testify against Ruto. It's a fact. And if he says, nah, I publish what I have here. You know now Fatou Bensouda has published. I am also going to publish what they told me is confident. I'll release it. Because there were things that the court says never said. Now they have said they were telling lies. Let me say. How many are those? We go. We are still. French. Stronger men. Kofi left a man called Dr. Nana Busia, the son of Dr. Kofi Busia, a relative, a great friend of Ogwambo, of Baba, very great, with Aludo. But for him is British. The president of Ghana is not that side. He's this way. He's the Nkrumah side. But Dr. Nana Busia, the one who came to Kenya during elections with a man from Canada to the Canadian guy who complained that you took me out very early in the morning. An expert in changing results. My daughter, you will need coffee after this. Dr. Kofi Nana Busia, another French man. Uganda. The current French point person is Dr. Besigye. Believe me or not, give me 5.
Besigye.
Yes. Mm-hmm. They can tell you they are not happy. They praise him 7, hallelujah, hallelujah. Yeah, bonjour, bonjour, bonjour. Bonjour, bonjour. You sing bonjour, you are gone. Why would you go to an election, take part in an election, when you know it is gerrymandered? Just stay home like a Matanga, or stay away. But because they want money, they want free money from the French and the Open Society Foundation, they take part in an election to justify, then come to tell Ugandans to go to the streets to be brutalized. Have you seen? I've delivered it for you today. It's man, Besha. Stay poor like some of us who have red accounts. Let me beg for money for 10 shillings, $10, $200, but I'll never take that money. That's how principled I am. Such money, they kill you like Savimbi. Where is Savimbi? The last person, Madame Zuma. Last but not least, sorry, Madame Zuma. Mm-hmm. Because this gentleman is a good writing, all this. When you see her, the last minute, when we elected her, she was ours. But when she settled there, she was captured. I entered Madame Zuma's office when we were electing for, this lady, the CS, my small sister,
Ambassador Mina.
Ambassador Mina. Mm-hmm. She's a younger sister of mine. When I bumped into the office, in Addis Ababa. What I found the lady speaking, she could not even believe that I had heard it. And I came out of the office, went to the lift. I came down and met the Kenyan delegation. I told them, we've lost. Let's just go home and have a drink. I found the lady telling all these African powerful ladies and the ministers, we give it to Chad. So what had changed? What had changed? French money. She was promised that we shall support you to become the president of South Africa. In order to allow Mr. Faki, Mohamed Faki, the Chad and last Frenchman on the soil now. Now that sets ground for us to wrestle for this AU, to remove it from the claws, the mouth of the French. The next Secretary General, we must be careful, the next chairperson, never, we must vet him, her properly, because this time is for the lady. Must not have any links with the French. That's the person who should become the AU chairperson. So Gaddafi died, the same AU killed him. It was the same AU that he was defending. What a paradox. Thank you very much. Nigeria is under siege. Nigerians need help. Buhari does not care. He's only counting his years to come and a person to another puppet, but by then people might be dead, all of them. Thank you very much, viewers. Over to you, Miriam.
And after that very long history, and I hope our viewers are out there with pens and papers and you took some notes there. We want to thank you so much for engaging with us this afternoon as Honest Kilomen and also who else? And Mohaji Abdi, thank you so much. And Gremta Susu, and Knight Michael Losoa, and Bismarck Bura, Ombesh Arthur, Joseph Odori, and the rest of you. Thank you so much.
No, there is a very interesting comment by Senator Honest Akiri-Honome, the lady. She's saying the husband, sir, my husband is asking, is it possible for Atiku and Buhari, can they have the same handshake like Raila and Uhuru? Yes, for a better Nigeria. Why? If it can bring peace, if it can stop the killings of the Igbo people, the Biafran people in the south, why not?
But the handshake between Atiku and Buhari will not change things in the Biafran.
It might not change, but it might stop the atrocities of the army against the Biafrans. Because at the moment, the Biafrans are the ones suffering. Because these two men are not seeing the plight of the Biafrans. But their handshake could bring accountability a bit. The handshake Fiore is growing bigger and bigger.
But if you ask me, I think Atiku and Buhari are not too far apart. He used to be his vice president, so let's remember that. So for you to have worked with somebody, you share the same ideals and the same, well, maybe not here in Africa, but you speak the same language. So I don't know if they could unite for their own selfish gains, but don't think in the bigger picture Biafrans stand to gain so much in this. But you know what, I stand to be corrected because they're the same person. They used to work together. They think alike. Their ideals are the same, and so I'm not quite sure. But you people there in Nigeria, perhaps you know better. And as Dr. said, maybe perhaps that would help in focusing and trying to bring change in Biafra. So yeah, a handshake might not be such a bad thing after all. So we see them tomorrow here at 11 a.m. East Africa time for another edition of Good Morning Africa, where we will be bringing you the latest from the African continent. But for now, we thank you so much.
You didn't say the headlines. Read the headlines for them.
I think we talked about it in a nutshell.
In a nutshell, we read, but Raila Ruto allies dig in for battle over referendum.
Yes.
That's the nation. In Kenya, untold story of BBI introduces that speculation because nobody knows exactly what was in there. Even the closest people among them, they don't know much. This is a here story, which we shouldn't take much. But the bottom line is that Kenyans, please, just take this as a process, a healing process, other than a political process that will draw the knives and kill all of the people, and the people, let them read and find the best way they can support the president. Thank you.
All right, we'll see you tomorrow.